And let me just get to the premise of your question that both of you have raised. I think it's frankly ridiculous that anyone in this room would even suggest that President Trump is doing anything for his own benefit.
The scale is staggering. President Trump and his family are making hundreds of millions, potentially billions of dollars, as Trump and his administration take official actions that benefit contributors and investors. Just this week, we learned of pardons to tax cheats, including a man whose pardon was granted weeks after his mother attended $1 million a head fundraiser with the president. The Trump Media and Technology Group raised nearly $2.5 billion from 50 institutional investors whose identities have not been disclosed. The SEC dropped its lawsuit against the cryptocurrency firm Binance days after Binance began listing the cryptocurrency launched by World Liberty Financial, the crypto firm started by Trump's family.
You know, nothing puts the White House walls more at risk of catch-up than when George Stephanopoulos designates, a significant portion of his time discussing the sitting president. And he came out swinging against Trump and his family during the opening remarks of this week's broadcast.
This unprecedented money making by a sitting president and his family, summarized by critics like The Atlantic's David Frum. Nothing like this has been attempted or even imagined in the history of the American presidency, he writes. Throw away the history books, discard feeble comparisons to scandals of the past. There is no analogy with any previous action by any past president. The brazenness of the self-enrichment resembles nothing seen in any earlier White House. This is American corruption on the scale of a post-Soviet republic or a post-colonial African dictatorship.
Stephanopoulos alleged that Trump and his family have exploited the highest office in the land to generate, quote, billions of dollars in deals. Going on to say, quote, the scale is staggering. The ABC reporter known for getting under Trump's skin took him and his administration to task in a flurry of rebukes directed at his policies, including several pardons to tax cheats, conveniently who were seen cozying up to their fearless cult leader and kissing the ring before their family members were pardoned.
From billion-dollar real estate deals in the Middle East to a flashy crypto investor dinner and the pardoning of political supporters, concerns Donald Trump's second term is blurring the lines between the personal and political like never before, as Trump tapped into his presidential pardon powers this week.
Just congratulate your parents. And I hear they're terrific people. This should not have happened.
One trend seemed to emerge, the president absolving the convictions of at least a dozen people with political and financial connections to him, like last month's full and unconditional pardon of Florida nursing home executive Paul Walzak. Days after the 2024 election, Walzak pleaded guilty to withholding more than $10 million from his employees' paychecks and spending some of it on luxury items for himself. According to the New York Times, Walzak's mother has raised millions for Trump's campaigns and recently attended a $1 million a person fundraiser at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club, though it's unclear what, if anything, she donated to attend. Less than a month after that fundraiser, Walzak had his pardon.
These pardons are rather arbitrary, and they just seem to be granted to people who are friends or supporters of the president.
I'm sure that's just a coincidence, right? But the thing is, Stephanopoulos' gall and his unapologetic reporting here has to be commended for several reasons. I mean, there's Trump's war on free speech, for one, but most notably the fact that ABC had to issue an apology in the past as part of a $16 million settlement with the Republican president late last year after Stephanopoulos falsely stated that Trump had been, quote, found liable for rape while discussing Trump's defamation in the trial involving author E. Jean Carroll. Trump, in fact, had been found liable for sexual abuse.
That example and others concerning for former Congressman Charlie Dent, a Republican and former chair of the House Ethics Committee.
Have you seen more questionable behavior in the second Trump administration or the first one?
Oh, the second, by far.
Even some of the president's allies questioning the recent gift of a $400 million jet from Qatar to the U.S. Department of Defense for future use as Air Force One. The president is exempt from conflict of interest statutes, but legal experts and Democrats charge the plane could violate the Constitution's prohibition on federal officials taking gifts from foreign countries.
Donald Trump's acceptance of the luxury plane from a foreign monarch is basically the corruption that our founding fathers were seeking to prevent.
The White House says that's not the case because the plane is a gift between governments and will eventually be transferred to Trump's Presidential Library Foundation and would not be for his personal use after he leaves office. And critics also pointing to another venture that didn't exist in the first Trump term, an emerging family cryptocurrency empire. On full display at this gala last week, an event where the top 220 buyers of his personal crypto meme coin were given exclusive access to Trump, seen standing next to a podium with the seal of the president. The White House saying that Trump was only there in a personal capacity on his own time.
And I'm just one of 220 people that are invited. And there's no media, there's no recording, there's no plus ones. It's just truly some of the most influential figures in crypto and policy, and of course, the man himself.
The top 25 meme coin investors even getting a tour of the White House, like Justin Sun, a Chinese crypto mogul who was previously under investigation by the Securities and Exchange Commission for fraud. That probe halted by the Trump administration in February. Both Trump and the First Lady have a meme coin.
But all of this ties into a rather dire weekend for Trump and his administration, considering many of his favorite propagandists were destroyed on national television across the board. I mean, they were raked across the coals. Take, for instance, Mike Johnson as he tried to defend the bill that, will skyrocket the deficit.
But let me read you something that you said back in 2021 about the CBO. This was in relation to a Democratic bill. You said the CBO has confirmed this bill adds nearly $400 billion to the deficit, contrary to the White House's claim that the bill is paid for. So do you only believe the CBO when a Democrat is president, Mr. Speaker?
No, this is very easy to explain. The CBO sometimes gets projections correct, but they're always off every single time when they project economic growth. They always underestimate the growth that will be brought about by tax cuts and reduction in regulations.
We showed at the top of this piece you talking about how you believe we're on the brink of getting many of these trade negotiations secure. Where are we exactly? When will we see an actual agreement? Will we see any this week?
I expected that we were going to probably see one perhaps as early as last week. And I think that one of the things that's happened is that the trade team has been focused 100% like a laser beam on the China matter to make sure that there are no supply disruptions because these licenses are coming a little slower than we would like. And so we've been focused like a laser beam on that last week. And the presidents we expect will discuss the matter this week. Once that thing's resolved, then we're going to take deals into the Oval that Jameson Greer and Howard Lutnick have negotiated.
But if they thought their work was cut out for them last week, well, this week they're going to have to defend their fearless cult leader sharing a post that claimed that Biden had died back in 2020 and it's been a body double ever since.
Justice Department has simultaneously rolled back crypto enforcement. On Thursday, the SEC dropped a 2-year lawsuit against Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, which federal regulators accused of mishandling customer money. The case was dropped just weeks after that Trump-connected crypto firm, World Liberty Financial, announced a $2 billion deal where United Arab Emirates-backed fund would use the firm's token to invest in Binance, a transaction that could generate hundreds of millions of dollars for the Trump family. But the concerns of critics go far beyond the world of crypto. From First Lady Melania Trump's reported record-breaking $40 million deal for her new Amazon documentary to the multiple Trump family real estate deals in the Middle East, some of which closed in the weeks right before the president's swing through those very same countries. At least one prominent Trump ally expressing concern.
Oh, there's a brand new hotel going up in Dubai or Abu Dhabi and another one going up in Doha, I think. And I'm like, did these just get done also with the deals that just happened over there? Or was this earlier? You would probably know.
No, I don't know.
You don't? That stuff kind of worries me. It's
well, it seems like corruption, yeah.
That isn't turning some Trump family members away from their own ventures. ABC News has learned plans are now in the works for a new private club in Washington, D.C., co-founded by Donald Trump Jr. and Trump's crypto czar investor David Sachs. The club's official name, Executive Branch, intended as a haven for the Trump family and top MAGA allies.
We're creating something that didn't exist before in D.C., which again is younger, hipper, Trump-aligned Republican.
The initial price tag for membership, $500,000.
George, the White House points to the fact that President Trump's assets are now in a trust managed by his children and assert that the entire Trump family are following all applicable ethics rules. A White House spokesperson telling us, quote, everything President Trump does is to benefit the American people.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.